Hello! Hi, everybody. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to my stream. I see a couple of questions already. Not sure what that is. I think it's a thumbs up. Hello. The stream is starting now. I'm gonna wait a couple minutes for anybody to come in and then I'll get started soon. Don't worry if you missed the first one. I basically just went over a couple of HTML rules and a couple of different things about the language. And I will put the code on a Google Doc. So even if you weren't here for the first session, feel free to use the code on that document and we're going to build on that from this session or part two, part 3, and 4. So no worries at all if you missed it. We've still got the information that you'll need. Hopefully you'll also be able to use that document as well. The schedule is supposed to change based on the time zone that you're in. So like if I click on it, it'll show CST because that's the time zone I'm in. So it should be in IST. If it's not, definitely submit a question in the Discord channel. I think Siddharth from MLH was helping some other hackers with that. So definitely click on that and we can see what we can do about that. Yes, hello, hi, nice to see you back. We are back, super excited to do part 2 of this stream. Really liked part 1, y'all had really great engagement, and hopefully we'll be able to get that same engagement for part 2 as well. Hello, Umaral, Mukhtar, hello, nice to see you. I'm gonna wait just a couple more minutes and see if anybody else is gonna join, but we will get started soon. Hello, hey Rupesh, hello. Hi Bindas Coder, hello. Hopefully y'all have been enjoying your break, your almost weekend, depending on your time zone. Like it's Saturday morning for me. Maybe it's like Friday night for y'all, but hopefully you are enjoying either way. Hello, Eunice25 Jimmy. Hello. Oh, I listened to the part 1 half. I couldn't attend it yesterday. Thank you so much for listening to part 1. No worries that you couldn't attend yesterday. You watched the video. That's all that matters. It's really great that you took the time to watch that video and get caught up. All of these parts are going to build upon other parts, and we're going to be coding in each session. So I'll provide the code from the previous session, each new session, but obviously I'm not going to spend too much time explaining that code. So if you have any questions, always ask and I can always help you, but you might have to go back and watch the video to get some more context if I don't have time to explain it. Hello, Sunny Huang. Hi, I'm from New Zealand. Wow. What time is it in New Zealand right now? 7:03 p.m. That's good. That's a decent time. Thank you for tuning in. I want to visit New Zealand. That sounds fun. Hello, Pal Zero. Hello. Love to see all the hellos and the check-ins. But I think I'm going to get started now. It's been about 4 minutes since I started, so I think I've gotten most people here. Hello, Adi. Hey ho. Have a wonderful weekend. Thank you. Hopefully all the hackers have a wonderful weekend as well. I'm getting an early start to my weekend. But keep your hello messages coming. I'll highlight it as I'm going, even if I'm talking. But welcome back, y'all. If you went to part one, thank you so much for taking the time to do so. We made it through HTML, and now it's time for like the super fun, very designy part, which is CSS. So today you're going to learn how to add colors, style fonts, and lay out your content within the website like a super seasoned pro. So by the end of this stream, I'm hoping that the bio page that we've already built will be able to be turned into a page that looks super good. So you're going to be able to see how powerful CSS is and how easy it can make your code look super cool. So, by the way, as a precursor, I would really like if y'all could download VS Code. Usually I'll say like, oh, you can download whatever code editor you want. I'm making an exception for that this time. Let me actually, oh yeah, sorry, completely forgot to say, there's a ticker at the bottom of the screen for the check-in link. Make sure y'all check in for the event. It's really important to make sure you're getting your points and so that we can see how many of y'all are coming to these events. So definitely make sure you click on that. I'm going to take it off now because it's got the like getting started soon thing. Let me, we can also just edit it. 1, 2, 7, 2, 3. Yeah, feel free to check in at that link. It's going to be up there for like maybe 5 more seconds so I can get moving on the stream. But let me know if you need that check-in link after and I can send it to you. But for now, this is the link to download Visual Studio. If you're not aware of what Visual Studio is, it's just a code editor and you can edit your code within it. And it's really useful because it has a lot of support for extensions that can make your life a lot easier. Specifically for this workshop, it's going to use the live server extension, which helps you deploy your website like immediately and update your changes immediately too, which I think is super cool. So I'm going to ask that y'all download VS Code. I think it's super useful and I hope you find it useful too. I'm going to take that down now, but remember it's still in the chat. Check in at that link. I'm going to remove this too. Hello, Zainab. Nice to see you back. Ruth says, I've also missed the first part of this. Totally no worries at all. Definitely after this stream, if you find this interesting, you should go back and watch part 1. Put a lot of work into it. I'd love if you watched it, but no worries. So this is a 4-part series about web development. And each, Code Witch, YouTube. This is for you too. Make sure you're paying attention. I will provide y'all the code from part 1. It just might not make that much sense if you don't know much HTML. Like I can go over a quick overview of what it is, but I can't spend too much time on it. So if you have any questions, ask me for sure, but also you can go back and watch part 1. If anyone missed the first part like I did, yeah, it's already available. There you go. Guys, MLH is super fast. So if you missed the first part, it's already available on the MLH YouTube channel. You know what? Let me go find that link actually. YouTube is very finicky. Sometimes I just can't find my links. I'll record and I'm like, I know I recorded, like, I know it should be on YouTube, and then it just doesn't show up. And I'm like, okay. Let me. I can't find the check-in link. Let me. Ooh, thank you, Adina Met. Sent the check-in link. That is the check-in link. Make sure you check in. I'm going to search up my title for one Emily season launch. I don't know where you found it. I can't even find my own website. Not website. So video, yeah. Part 1. Okay, I don't see it. Whoever. Actually, wait. Adina Matt, if you could send the link to that video, that'd be top tier 10 out of 10. I cannot find it. It would be great to give that link to y'all. So if you could go back, oh my god, you're amazing. You are amazing. Thank you. That is the link to the YouTube video, to part 1. Thank you very much. So those of y'all that didn't catch part 1, make sure you watch that video after, but stay here for this one because I'm streaming live now, and if you have questions, you can just ask me and I can answer them live, which is so much better than Googling it or trying to figure it out later. Let me see if I missed any comments. I'm gonna stick with GitHub. I don't know what Nix is. That sounds like a computer or an operating system, but no worries. You don't have to. You can still do everything that we're doing. GitHub Codespaces is more than okay to use. It's just that you're gonna have to like run it locally to see the changes often. But if you don't want to, that's totally okay too. So Darth, no worries. Glad to see that you're here. It's always good to try new things, but there's really not much to Twitch. You kind of just click on the link and watch. You figured out the chat, so that's the most important part. There's really nothing else to it, so no worries at all. Hello, Hiep Hoang. Hello. Also new here. Yay! Don't worry, we're gonna start. Yay! Yes, we're gonna roll now that everybody's settled in. We're gonna get started. But yeah, let's go. MLH. Woo! Honestly, I was supposed to have like a little name tag. It's supposed to say like from MLH. I don't know where that is. I'm not sure why that's hiding. Kind of sad. I used to have like a little name tag, but I guess I don't get that anymore. Oh, is it because I don't have a headline? Nope, that's not changing anything. Okay, that's fine. So basically, we're going to be working on y'all's personal portfolio pages. So typically, I'm assuming most of y'all are interested in computer science if you're here, or at least web development. And in computer science, a lot of like, oh, see, okay, now it shows up. Hold on. Let me delete that. I can't have it twice. Sorry, guys. In computer science, a lot of people will have their personal portfolios. And basically what that is it's just a online website of all of the things that they worked on. So this is kind of the purpose of this web development series. It's obviously easy to make your own website using AI or to use another website generator, but it's very valuable to make your own website because then employers, whoever you're trying to impress, can see that you built something by yourself, which is infinitely more impressive than copying and pasting from an AI. But hello, Heap, Hyep, I don't know, but hello. So we're gonna get started. I always like to do a poll. Okay, actually, JK, this is me. Hi, I'm Varshni. I'm a coach at Major League Hacking. I've moved 13 times in my life. That's kind of my fun fact that I like to tell everybody. If y'all have fun facts, would love to hear them. But yeah, moved a lot. If any of y'all have moved a lot, I'm sure you understand. It's very difficult, but I'm happy where I am now. And I'm a coach at Major League Hacking. I really love my job. It's great. That's me. We're going to do a little quick poll, and I want y'all to react with this poll. I've got a question. We're doing basic. Yeah. We're doing basic web dev. In the other sessions, we're going to add in some React.js. So part 3 specifically is focusing on JavaScript, and I've added in some React stuff there. So it's building up to that. Right now, we're just doing CSS styling, like coloring. But yes, since this is like the intro to web development series, this is geared more towards basic beginners. But feel free to learn some more information. Maybe there's something that you don't know that you're about to learn. So I want y'all to respond to this poll just to get some engagement up and running. So this is your very first time using CSS, you're brand new, I want to see a 1. If you've tried CSS once or twice before, but you still feel like a beginner, I want to see a 2. If you've built a few simple sites with CSS, but you're here to learn more, a 3. And if you've built several websites with CSS and just want a refresher or to help others, put a 4. And if none of those sound like something that's what you are, just put what you are in the chat, and I'd love to talk about it. Ooh, I see some responses coming in. Hello, pal. 2. Nice. Okay, good. This session's for you. 2. Same for you. Hey, Rupesh. 3. I built a few simple sites. That's cool. That's cool. Very good. Code Witch says 2. Ooh, Sunny Wong says 4. Very fun. I am really happy to hear that you want to help others or want a refresher or just want to see the stream. Aryan says 3. Great. 1. Yay. Very first time using CSS. Hopefully you watched part 1. If not, don't worry. We've got the starter code for that. But super excited to get you started on CSS. 2, 2, 4, very cool. 1, yay. Nice to see y'all back here. Sumit, 2, 4, very nice. 2, 3, thanks. 1, 4, and 1. Wow. Okay. Very, very wide range of, what is it? Capabilities here. Very excited. Partly 3, partly 4, somewhere in between. Yeah, that's valid. These are kind of binary numbers, but it makes sense that y'all feel a little bit in the middle. Just a quick poll. 5. I have nothing to do with web dev. Oh, that's really funny that you're an ML engineer. I find machine learning very interesting, but glad that you tuned into the stream. Hopefully you get something useful from this, even if you're not that into web dev. Chase Atlantic says 1. I love Chase Atlantic. I don't know if that's a reference to the artist, but I love that artist. Second time, yay. How do we hashtag MLHGHW on LinkedIn? I think it might just be hashtag MLHDHW. I'm not sure. If you want to know if there's a specific tag, feel free to ask that question in the Discord. Someone's definitely probably used it at some point. I don't know. Yeah, sorry. As data science here is still, oh, okay, yay, yeah, definitely important to expand upon what you know, but super cool. Data science is really cool too. Okay, so seems like the responses are slowing down, so I'm gonna go ahead and move on. But thank y'all for your engagement. I really love to see y'all putting responses in the chat and communicating. It's really fun because this stream is kind of just me talking to an empty screen. So it feels nice to see comments. But thank y'all. So I'm really excited to get started with all of your wide ranges of experiences. But let's talk a little bit about what CSS is. So CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheets, and it's the design layer that sits on top of your HTML code that you've already written. So I kind of used this analogy yesterday where I was saying, like, think about a website like a human body. We can think about HTML like the structure, like your bones, your skeleton. CSS would be like the clothing, the makeup, the jewelry, the belts, like things like that. So CSS controls like fonts, colors, layout, spacing, animations, responsiveness, like a lot of different things. Hi. Um, it's really, your tag is really interesting because there's this like seasoned MLH. I think they became a streamer. Yosh. I think they became a streamer recently. Very interesting. But yeah, there's a couple of people that are joining us for the first time. I'm really glad that I'm the first session that you are joining. Hopefully you enjoy this session. So this is a tech track. This is a couple of parts. So I've already done part 1 for web development. And let me go highlight that YouTube link really quick, actually. Yeah, someone Adi sent that, so definitely feel free to check out that link. That is part 1 of this session. You can watch that afterwards because I'm here live and you should ask if you have any questions. But yes, make sure to catch that. And oh my god, I'm seeing so many people. Yay. Yeah, so many new. Wow, this is your first time in a GH. Oh my god, y'all, I'm so honored that you are here. I knew it. I knew you were I knew you were lying. I knew it. Okay. That's great to hear that you have another session, though. Super excited for that. What's your session? If it's a decent time, I might show up. But yeah, same here. Yeah, love to see all the new people. God, this is making me so happy. I was like, oh my god, I'm streaming so early. Nobody's gonna be here. Oh, so many people are here. This is amazing. But yeah, a little bit more about CSS. So we're going to start from the basics today in terms of designs, and then we're just going to build up from there. So you won't really see it, but CSS is usually hidden. If you use like kind of basic websites, you'll see like HTML, it's just kind of text and it's kind of boring. So CSS is always a really great way to add some interesting features to your code. So I'm gonna on to the next slide. Let's just like a quick intro. Yeah, you have separation concerns. There's like a lot. Like I will put like a heads up out there. I build the streams out like in terms of the code and what I want to cover, and then I put whatever like code I have into this like thing. It's called presentations.ai. It's like an online presentations PowerPoint generator. So it generates the PowerPoint for me. So sometimes what you see on the slides is like random stuff, not really related to what I'm talking to, but most of the time it's similar and I've tried to edit it. So sometimes I might not cover something that's on the slide because it's not necessary, but just letting you know. But that's why we have this like this cool slide with animations. I worked hard on that. So, but let's go over a couple of different ways to add CSS. There are, before we start that, so I'm gonna share a link with y'all. Ooh, I already see someone on it. Wow, on top of it. Here is the Google Doc that we will be using for this session. So when I say using for this session, I mean that I'm going to be copy and pasting code on to this document so that we can have it for easy reference. The reason why I do this is just because sometimes I'm typing out really long lines of code and you might not catch it or you just need it for reference later. And it's too long to send in the chat because the chat breaks it up into little pieces. So there's the link. I'm seeing a lot of y'all pop up on this, but let me actually screen share that really quick just to show some of y'all what it is if you can't pull it up. This is the doc. This link is just the link to the doc. Like there is no part 1 document. I'm just reusing the same document and deleting what's not needed because I can't keep making documents. I'm going to go insane if I do that. So this is the link. If you need it at any point, it's going to be there on the document. And this is the code from yesterday. So for those of y'all that are saying that you weren't here for yesterday, or if you weren't really able to get your code working, no worries. This is working code. So feel free to copy and paste this into your code editor and customize it. Like we've got the title as like Varshini's intro page. Share your names, not Varshini's. So if it's not, feel free to change it. I've got like random things in here like my bio, a quote, a couple of skills. None of this is real. So feel free to edit that as you will. But that's all we did for part 1 yesterday. It was a lot of learning about HTML. So if you're going through this and something's not making sense, definitely check out part 1. It's got all that good information. But yeah, I will come back to the stage now. So, CSS does not stand for can't select selectors. You would lie. You already did when you said this is your first stream, but that's not what it stands for. Don't confuse the newbies. Yeah, Tomix knows what's up. It's not true. CSS stands for cascading style sheets. They know what's up. But yeah, there's 3 different ways that we can write CSS. Ooh, it's back to my face. I'm gonna put them on the document just so y'all can see me typing along. So here is way number 1. So we've got our typical HTML code, and oh my god, I'm like, my fingers are lacking so much. Color, I'm gonna do like red, and let's do, hey. So this is one way to write CSS code, and this is like called inline CSS. So you should only use this in emergencies. It's really hard to maintain, but this is a really quick way that you can just turn the style of this text red. It's not recommended because it's like really hard to like go to each line and like try to figure out what's going on. So definitely a better idea not to do this. But this is inline. Then you can also do like a block. So let's say, actually, I'm not going to do the numbers. So we're going to do our normal like head styling. We're going to go in and we're going to do style as another tag, and let's say we do P for our paragraph. So a lot of this, if you haven't watched the previous sessions, might be a little confusing. I'm going to try my best to explain what something is while I write it, but I might miss something, so if something isn't making sense, just let me know and I got you. Head is kind of just the way that we refer to like metadata, like titles or tab titles. So that is very important. That's just kind of what that is. And then we've got our style, which is like our tag that references that we're heading into a style. And then we've got P, which is the paragraph, and this is just the color red. So this is kind of a style block within the head section. It has to be here, can't be anywhere else. So don't go putting your style block like somewhere random in your body. It's not gonna work, and it's gonna get your website confused. So don't do that. But this is super great for small projects like our project today. And it's really great to just add a couple of customization features without like overhauling everything. And then we've got our final option that we're going to cover for today. There's probably other options, but these are the main ones. So I'm going to do Raycloud, and I'm going to do like style sheet. So this is a way to reference, let me actually just, oh no, I don't want to do that. Yeah, that works. Link browse style sheet and href. So this is our last way to reference CSS. This is the best practice for real websites. Basically what this is creating another file, which is going to be styles.css, and you're calling that like your style sheet. And the reason why this is the best way to go is because you can have you can have all of your styling information within one tab, as opposed to doing something like going through this paragraph multiple times. It's just easier to go through this style sheet. So these are the 3 different ways that we can reference CSS. And I want to do a quick live activity with y'all. So we're going to open up VS Code. And that's something that hopefully y'all like a lot. Because this is a 2-hour series and it's just so long, I get that y'all get tired, you get like kind of antsy. So we're going to do like live demos and live code a lot. So that's why I ask that y'all download VS Code and so you can follow along. A major part of these streams is to make sure that y'all are learning new technology, and learning new skills, and the best way to do that is to follow along when somebody else is doing it. So follow along with me. We're going to do a lot of interactive and hopefully engaging content. I will be like editing on the VS Code tab, but I'll be switching back to the streaming tab occasionally if y'all have questions, so feel free to keep them coming. But this is just what I copied and pasted from the document. So you should have your own code if you were here for part 1. If not, totally no worries. Just copy and paste the code from the Google document, put it into your editor, and boom, you were here for part 1. That's all that matters. Can't be the only person who links an external CSS file then writes a bunch of you can't be. There's definitely multiple people who do that, but that's not what you should do. Yeah, this is for the non-CSS experienced people. This is funny because it's like you're doing all this work to make an external CSS file, and then you're just going and writing inline CSS anyways, and you're injecting it. And it's not a good sustainability feature, but funny joke. Thank you for that. So now that hopefully I've given y'all enough time to download that code, do I have to install the HTML CSS plugin? I don't think so. I ran it without doing that. I think you're fine. Where is the plugin that you speak of? Is this on VS Code or online? I'm not sure what you're talking about, but I will check back if you've got more context for that question. I'm kind of confused. But hopefully you've copied that code into your editor. So now we're going to add our own style section. So within our head section, which is right here, again, feel free to rename that. I've just got my name up there. We're going to do style, and this is going to be our style section. So I'm going to change my body to a specific color. So this is going to be anything in the body section, which is literally all of my HTML code, is going to change to this color. So I'm going to do background color. It's already got that. Perfect. And I'll set it to like a fun color. Blue violet looks fun. So VS Code is super cool. You can set specific colors. Oh, I've got some words. Oh my god, there's so many. Yeah, you don't have to, but would recommend. It has good snippets that you can use. Yeah, maybe HTML CSS plugin is a good investment. Honestly, I've had VS Code for like 6 or 7 years, so I really can't tell you what I've installed and what I haven't. So if it's asking you, go ahead. Good, thank you for that extra context. Start with fun fact: the person who created Patchen does. That's funny. This is funny because Node.js is like super complex and like really fun for reactive development, but funny that he doesn't have any CSS in his. He just doesn't like color. Hello, pal. Install. Yes. Oh my gosh, you're so smart. Thank you for that call out. Let's do that right now. So we're gonna go over to extensions. We're gonna search up live server, and it's by Rithvik Day. I swear I feel like I've said his name so many times. I don't know Rithvik Day. This is not promotion. This is just a crazy extension that I think is super cool. So if you're on VS Code, which you should be, please make sure you're downloading this extension. It's super important for this workshop and also just in general. Typically, when you're building a website or building something, you have to natively run your website in the terminal, and you can only have it on your local host, and it doesn't update. But with live server, it's still your like local host type thing. Only difference is that as soon as you save the file, it automatically updates in the live server, which I think is super cool. You don't have to use like anything else. You just click on it, reload, and there you go. I think VS Code automatically prompts you. Okay, that's on me. Yeah. If it prompts you to do that, please go ahead and do that. It's been a while since I started writing HTML, CSS, so please do that. Wow, interesting. See, it's so interesting that all these developers with like insane technology and programming skills just don't use CSS because CSS is pretty and it makes things nice. Yeah, tend to use live preview. Live preview extension works well too. That's great. Yeah, okay. Looks like our questions are dying down. So yeah, make sure you're downloading this live server extension. Let me know if y'all are having trouble. I'm gonna go back to the code and back to coding. So when you do background color, you can set the RGB value where you can also pick the color. Does anyone have a color that they want to see on the portfolio? You're going to see this a lot during the course of this workshop, but y'all are going to be coding your own portfolio website, but obviously I can't see that and your fellow community members can't see that. So if there's any changes that you want to make or anything that you want to see come to life on the screen, put it in the chat. I'd love to see it. So if any of y'all have any recommendations for a color or an RGB value, let me know, and I'll put that in. Ooh, okay. Rebecca Purple. Wow. 404 is really interested in Rebecca Purple. I got you. Okay. Rebecca Purple. That's so interesting that they're calling it Rebecca Purple. I have a friend named Rebecca. I'll make sure to refer her to this color. But okay, so there's our Rebecca color, Rebecca Purple color. So just to show y'all how cool Live Server is. Oh, it's already running. Oops. Okay. So once you install the Live Server app, by the way, just as a heads up, you might have to restart your VS Code to get the Live Server extension to show up. So in that case, just save your code and then reload the editor, and it'll be there. So no worries. Just make sure you save. But even if you don't, you just copy paste still. So yeah, we're gonna click on this button. It says go live. So the two ways that you can start the live server, you can right click on your file name and click open with live server, or you can just click go live. I like the go live button. I think it's fun. I think it's cute, me personally, but it will then open up for you in your web browser, whatever web browser you're currently using. So let me show y'all what that looks like. That's an interesting purple. Thank you for that suggestion, 404. Let me pull it up. There is our website. So hopefully y'all's website looks the exact same if you copied and pasted the HTML. Feel free to change the color to whatever you want. But yeah, that's our website. That's our super fun color. So that's just a really quick demo of how we can use CSS to change colors and to add customization to websites. So I also want to show y'all something super cool. So we're gonna go to this website. I literally love this website. Let me copy and paste the URL. And this is a really cool way that you can get some colors for your web page. So let me show y'all. It's called coolers.co. And it's a really great way to get hex code colors, RGB colors. I'm actually not going to accept these cookies. Do not steal my data. So this is a super cool app or website, I think. You can like start a color generator, or you can explore trending palettes. They've got like Chrome extensions, Figma plugins, like it's super cool. So this is the create a palette. Oh yeah, so there's gonna be some super fast. There's gonna be some super fast blinking colors. So if any of y'all have epilepsy or photosensitive epilepsy, please be advised. Maybe just look away from the screen for a little bit. I will let you know when we're done with this part. Please look away. I don't want you to have any issues or trigger a seizure for you. So please look away if that's something that you know is a problem for you. So let's go. That's so fun. So basically, you have this and you can hit the spacebar on your computer to generate random palettes. This is super fun. Sometimes I just want like a refresh of color. So, I love this palette. So I will just go through and do this a lot just to see colors because I think it's fun. And then you can just click on a color and you can copy, like you can do all of this. You can like, remove a color if you don't want it. You can view shades. Oh, this is so cool. And you like drag it around. You can copy the hex which is super cool. So a lot of different things you can do with this. And you can also view the trending color palettes. So sometimes people will make color palettes and put it on here, which I think is super cool. These color palettes look really good. And you can just click and copy the hex code just like that. So super useful. I was someone that grew up in like Home Depot stores and Lowe's. And oh, by the way, if anyone looked away from the screen for the blinking colors, feel free to look back. I'm done. I'm not going to go back on that page. But yeah, I was someone that grew up with Home Depot and Lowe's and like the paint. Like if y'all are not in the US, you might not know what that is, but they're like home improvement stores. And they used to have these like paint cards. Oh my god, I would spend hours in those aisles because they were just so fun and I love colors. Side note. But ooh, ooh. It's a homage to the daughter of Eric Mayer worked a lot on. Oh my god. That is so sad. Wow. Yeah. So if apparently the Rebecca color, Rebecca purple has a deep meaning behind it. That is very sweet. Poor Eric Mayer. Damn. Yeah, I mean, I know. I'm glad you think so as well. It is very cool. Hopefully, I've put y'all on to coolers, and you can get some more information with those colors. Um, don't know what that's for, but yay. um, how to do the color background on the website. Oh, yeah. So it's gonna be, let me go back to sharing VS Code. I don't like seeing my face like up and big here. This is like so upsetting. Oh. I don't like it. Okay. So this is the way that you can do the color background. So if you were here for part 1, you should have the code already, but if not, no worries. It's in that Google Doc I was sharing earlier. So within your head section, you're going to add in this part, which is like style, body, and you're adding in a background color. So you can add in whatever color you want, but that's what we were going over for the past couple of minutes. Hopefully that helped. Coolers is just so soothing. Exactly. Wait, I'm telling you, like, I need a color palette. Like, I go onto coolers. Like, it's my to-go. It's amazing. I will ride or die with coolers. Like, it's such a fun website. Wow. Okay. I didn't know it was popcolorhunt.co. Okay. I will have to check that out later. That sounds interesting. Yay. Okay. Great. This is great. But yeah, that was a really quick demo about how to, like a quick preview of what we're going to do in this session. So hopefully y'all enjoyed that. And we're going to go back to the slides. So, oh, I did that. Oh no, no I didn't. Okay. Oh, I'm confused, sorry. So then we talked about a little bit about what CSS does, and you guys got a quick demo about what CSS is. We should take a look at what CSS like rules are. So CSS rules are kind of just like programming language rules, like a specific way that you have to write things. So the way that CSS code works is you have something called a selector. And a selector is just a word that tells the browser what HTML elements to style. So I was talking about P for paragraph. You've got like H1 for heading. So you can use this selector word to style any specific HTML element. So that is super cool. And we can add curly braces after that selector to have our style instructions. So then we write things and they're called property value pairs. And these are just instructions that are going to be like, make the text purple. Like we saw like Rebecca purple, background text color. That's going to be our property value pair. So let me go back to our document and show y'all that. So I can type some stuff, but there's the document. Okay. So typically you've got this structure where it's like selector. This is your property value pair. And your end bracket. So this is kind of the structure of how your file will be laid out. So if you want to look at a real example, we can do like each one. Each one is heading. This is the biggest heading size. So I'm going to do color. Let's do Rebecca Purple. I like that story. Rebecca Purple. And then we're going to do font size. These are a couple of different customizations that you can do. So here I'm presetting the font size to size 40. And then I'm going to do text align because I want my text to be aligned in the center. And there you go. So this is one of the CSS rule examples. So basically this rule is telling you, I want you, like this telling the browser, I want you to style all of the CSS elements, or sorry, not all of the elements, just the H1 elements. So anything that has this H1 tag, the heading tag, I want you to style those. And I want you to make those I want you to make that text purple. So specifically in this case, it'll be Rebecca Purple, but make them purple in general, and then increase the font size to 40 pixels and center that heading across the page. So that's what you've got that for. And this is kind of how CSS works at a basic level. You've got one block for each selector, so like one block of text for each selector element, and each property is ending with a semicolon. So if y'all do Java, you're going to recognize that semicolon debugging nonsense. But you will need a semicolon at the end of everything. Don't forget the semicolons. They separate each rule, and if you miss a semicolon, you're going to break your code and nothing's going to work, and you're going to be very frustrated. So don't do that. So we're going to use what we learn like we always do, and we're going to go back into VS Code. Yeah, sorry. Sometimes you're going to see my big face up on here. That's because I'm switching between tabs. So bear with me while you see that. But right now we're going to add to our code. So at the very bottom, after whatever your last part of your body is, but remember you still want to be inside body. Wait, actually I'm totally lying. It's not in body, it's in style. I'm lying. We already did this a little bit for our body, but let's add some more. So you can see right now I've got my heading H2 is my computer science skills. That's what I've got under H2. So I'm going to do that for H2. And I'm going to set the color to teal. If y'all have any recommendations for what color you want to see up on the webpage, if anybody else has a fun story behind a color, or an interesting story behind a color, or just wants to see a color, let me know and I'll put that color up on the screen. But I'm going to do a color. Let me show you a fun feature. You can do text transform and do uppercase. And this is super cool because this is going to automatically convert all of the letters under H2 into uppercase, which is super cool. And see, you've got those angry red lines. Look at that. That's because I forgot the semicolon. You always got to have those semicolons. This is going to make your H2 text teal and make all of your H2 text uppercase. So let's go ahead and add that. So I'm going to save it. And you're going to see that live preview come back up again. So I stop and then go back and share my screen for my intro page. But ta-da! You can't see me. Ta-da! You've got the purple background and you've got this like teal header, which is super cool. So you can change the colors to whatever you like. Make the website super pretty. Yeah, you can change the color to whatever you want. I obviously am showing y'all teal, but change it to whatever you want. Something I will say, if you weren't here with me for part 1, I really love demoing y'all's projects. So if you're working along on your project, I'm going to show y'all how to deploy it into a link that I can use, and I'm going to share your projects. So customize them to your heart's content. Make sure you're really happy with them. And at the end of the stream, I will share your projects on the screen, and anyone that watches this YouTube video after will know that it was you, and you'll be forever immortalized into MLH history. So very incentivized to go ahead and code your own edits and changes so that we can be like, wow, like this person is so cool. They're coding their stuff already. So make sure y'all do that. We had a couple of people do that yesterday, and it was super fun and exciting. So yeah, we can add a lot of different changes into our VS Code file. Feel free to do that. Yeah, you can add anything, change the color, text transform, you can do lowercase, whatever you want. So you can get creative, make it look super pretty. And I want to show y'all something like what happens if you do use a semicolon. So let's say I did forget that semicolon. You see those errors. I'm just gonna go and click save. And let's see what that does to the website. Oh, you can't see anything. LOL. Okay. I deleted that semicolon and I saved it to my website. So you can see it's like VS Code is not happy. VS Code's like, you've got some problems. You should fix that. I'm not going to. Let's see what the problem is. What does it do? So it actually doesn't do anything. It doesn't break the website. It just doesn't show up as color, obviously. You can't see anything. Okay, yeah. It doesn't show up as color. You can't really see that color. So always make sure you have your semicolons. Those are very, very important. Go back to the code. So let's put that semicolon back, get our code working again. This is a great reminder that even if you got like one small typo, that could like really mess up your entire file. So make sure that you're following along, make sure that you're reviewing your code as we go, so that we can make sure that everything is right and that everything works. Oh. Sorry guys, I'm so tired. Oh, it's not sharing. Oh, there you go. I added the colon back in, and now the website is working again, which is great. I go back to the slides. So that was kind of like the first CSS rule that y'all will learn. Okay. So you can also target elements specifically. So we were doing this before, but you can target any HTML tag directly. So you can target like a P for paragraph, IMG for image, UL for unordered list, A for link. You can target any of these elements specifically. So it's kind of what we've been doing with like H1. You can do that for any tag that's specific within HTML as well. So I'm not going to show an example because that's kind of what we just did, but feel free to do that in your code. So like here, you can see these different tags. These are different tag names. So, you see like this block quote. Maybe you want to make your block quote like really bright, all uppercase. Like, feel free to do that. Go out with the customization. Like the world is your oyster, y'all. You can make any changes that you want to. There is no limit on the changes that you can make, so do whatever you want. Definitely a good use of your time. But yeah, think to yourself, if you haven't been editing already, think to yourself, like, what's one element on your page that just needs like a quick fix to make it look a little bit better, and start editing your page. And also, like, if you see my page and you're like, yikes, this looks really bad, she needs to fix like this, or I want to see this, let me know. This is my page so far. Love the suggestions for Rebecca Purple. And if y'all have any other suggestions, keep them coming. Like, if you don't like the way this like image looks, you don't like my GitHub link, let me know. I really love suggestions and I love to implement them. And if y'all are like afraid about putting something on your code, just let me know and I'll put it on mine. I'm here for y'all. So yeah, go ahead and start editing your code. Add a feature that you think looks cool. But yeah. So now that we've got this kind of structure down with tags and some like very basic styling, we're going to make your website look like you, like with your personality. So we're going to customize colors, fonts, and text styles so that we can show your personality off, show your interests off, and things like that. So like I was saying before, CSS gives us a whole lot of power to kind of change how the text looks. So there's a lot of different useful properties that we can do. And let me go back to the doc for this. Sorry, guys. Also, just a heads up, I'm not like always tired. I just really wanted to stream at a time that was doable for the hackers in India, and I ended up waking up at 2 a.m. for this. Actually, I woke up at 1:30 to prep, but that's why I'm tired. I'm going right back to sleep after this stream, but super excited to be here. So we can do our color, and that's going to be like, I'm just going to type it all in one line. Ideally, you do it in multiple, but just for time's sake. So we've got color, and that's going to change the text color. So you can use different color names like how I did. You can use hex codes. So that would look like this. Use hex code, RGB, or HSL if you want some more control. Then you can use font family. So that will change your typeface, basically like the overall style and shape of your characters. Typeface is just a fancy way of saying font. So if you've ever seen like font, that's all that is. So let's say I want to do font family. And we can do like Laura, just like what this Google document is in. I love Laura. And sans serif. So basically what this says is this is going to be your font family. That's the specific CSS kind of customization that we're showing off here. So what this says is we should use Laura if it's available, if that font is working. If not, always fall back to sans serif. That's kind of what this like comma is for. So you should always add a fallback. This like doesn't have to be sans serif, but something has to be a fallback. Not every computer has a font. Not every web browser has a font. So if you don't have a fallback, your text just won't show up, and you will never be able to figure out what's wrong when you debug. So definitely make sure you do that. Then we can also do like H1. We could do text align. That's another fun feature. I'm literally just like spitballing ideas for different customization that y'all can do. So if this seems random, it's because I'm just putting everything I know to give y'all max customization. But this one is controlling how the text is aligned. So when you do center, you're aligning your text horizontally within the center. I will be using some of that because I don't like the way that my text is all towards the left. And then we can do text transform. So text transform. And y'all saw this a little bit earlier. I'm going to do uppercase again. And just like I was doing before, text transform just automatically changes the case of your text. So if you've got like mixed and you want all uppercase automatically, you can do that. But yeah, for this one, you got a couple of different options. You can do uppercase, you can do lowercase, you can do capitalize. Oh, capitalize. Which just makes the first letter of each word uppercase. So if y'all know camel case, that's what this is. Yeah, that's another option. And you can do, well, a couple more. You can do font weight too. Font weight. And you can make it bold. So this will just make your text super bold, super fun to look at. If you want to emphasize something like maybe that block quote that we had on there earlier, if you want to make that nice and bold, we can do that as well. And you can also use numbers here. So you can do like 400, like 700. So 400 is normal for font weight, and 700 is bold. So if you want something in the middle of that, feel free to try it out. And we can put this all together and add some more styling too. So let's actually do that. Let's go back to VS Code for my website. And we're back to VS Code, our love. I'm going to go back to my styling section, and I'll just add it within the body that I've already got going here. So I really liked, do they have Laura? I hope they have Laura. No, they don't have Laura. Damn. It's okay, we'll do like Verdana or something. Yeah. So again, you've got that fallback there, and then we've already set our color. I like my color, and we can do something else fun. So we can align the text. I thought that was useful, so we can do like text align. So yeah, I mean, you can see these different features auto-populating. Like, there's a lot of different things you can do with CSS. I am not even like, I'm scratching, like very barely scratching the surface of what you can do with CSS, but there's a lot of stuff that you can do. So feel free to explore any of this, but we're just going to do text align. Yeah, it's like, see, there's other things you can do here, like calculate it, like it's crazy. CSS is such a fun language to get, like, oh my god, it's such a rabbit hole language. Like, you learn one thing and you just keep it, like, oh my god, I would spend hours on CSS sometimes. But yeah, that's just a fun little way to add some more. So let's see how that looks. I'm gonna save it. Let's go back to my code. Okay, it actually looks really bad because oh my god, I didn't edit the rest of it, but this is my code. My website doesn't look superior, but it's getting there. I think I just have to make everything else central aligned. Yeah, it just looks like that because of the list and everything. But yeah, I'm gonna change that back. It looks really bad. I'm gonna delete that. Feel free to keep that if you want to, though. And maybe tinker around with it. Like, I'm not gonna tinker with it because I don't really care, but since this is your personal portfolios, tinker around with it and work with it. Ooh, not sure. Oh, that's for me. Oh my god, yes. I'm going to rest after for sure. I have this like problem where like once I wake up, I can't go back to sleep. I think it's just because I get really like, I don't know, like hyper once I wake up. Like, I just get out of bed and I'm like, I can't go back to sleep. So I'm really hoping that's not happening and I can go back to sleep, because otherwise I would have gotten like an hour of sleep and I'm not a big fan of that. I like that too. Not sure what you're like, but yay, community. ATS compliant. Yeah, this is not ATS compliant, unfortunately. I tried adding some style to the title, but it didn't change. Yeah, so there's a specific spot that you need to put your styling in. Let me show y'all. So right here, like where I have it specifically, you've got your doctype HTML. It's within head, and then I put the style here. Make sure you've got your closing tag. This is your closing style tag. You said you did it for title. Yeah, make sure you might have put the style like section before you created title. And it might not work, so do it after, and then do vice versa if it was not true for that as well. But yeah, let me know. Oh my god, so stupid. Oh, sorry. The title isn't like the title of your web page. So let me show you really quick. So that's one more thing I was talking about yesterday. So your head is kind of the metadata. It's something that you can't see. And the reason I say that, I'm not sure if y'all can see this, but whenever you open up a tab, there's a tab name. So that's what my tab name is, Varoshini's intro page. But you can't actually see that on the website. That's kind of just like by design. So you can't really change the styling for that. So that's why it's not showing up. Anything within body you can change, but anything within head, you're not going to be able to change. Yeah, because it's not editable. No, please don't be sorry. I should have explained that earlier, but glad you understand. And yeah, send your questions in, y'all. This is how we get things answered and figured out. So we're hitting that midway 1 hour mark. So thank y'all for staying with us, staying with me and hanging out with me. We're getting through, we're 50% there. And by the end of this, you'll have a super cool website to show. So let's go a little bit more about default fonts. So I was saying I really liked Laura, so we can try Google Fonts too. So let's show you all how to do that. So I'm gonna go to Google. Let me add that. So I'm gonna go to a page. It's gonna be https //fonts.google.com. And here you can pick whatever font you want. I really like this website. I think it's cool. You can preview a lot of different types of fonts and figure out the type of font you want. So let's say I like this one. Honestly, I do. I'm saying like let's say, but I actually do. This is kind of fancy. So I like this one. And Google's going to give you like a link tag. So I'm going to click Get Font and Get Embed Code. And there you go. So it's got your link right there. Okay. Oh my gosh. So there's the link that it's got there. We're just going to copy that code and we can place it in the HTML. So just make sure you click that and you click copy. So I'm going to go back. Oh, nope, not that. Okay, yay. So I'm back on my VS Code and I'm going to place this in my HTML file. So it's going to be within head. It's going to be after title, but it's going to be before the style tag. So the reason that we do this is because when you're importing in the text, you're going to call it somewhere else. So you want to make sure that you're putting that link in before you're using that somewhere else. So make sure it's after your title, but before your style tag. And then in my CSS, now in font family, instead of saying Verdana, what is it called? Manufacturing consent. It's a weird name. Yeah, okay. That's odd. It's fine. So I just put that name in and I can use my entire site. Will be in manufacturing consent. That's a really weird name. Okay, I should have looked at the name before I clicked on. Oh my god, that is so bad for visibility. Okay, let me show you all what I'm seeing. Okay, let's just agree that my webpage is not for visibility or design or anything good. It's just for trying things for y'all. As you can see, this is like not even readable anymore. But now you know, don't do that for your own webpage. But yeah, I get to try out everything, and y'all get to pick the best of that to make your website out of. So there you go. And we can also just like upload some colors, add some customization. So that's the power of CSS. In just one line, you can like change the mood of a page and make it look really pretty. So this is your personality. Go for it. Customize it to what you want. So something that you'll see is everything on a web page that you're going to see is a box. The way I say that is that with HTML and CSS, you've kind of got this like box model. So space is calculated using margin, border, padding, and content. So that's kind of the way that your computer lays different things out. So let me go back to the doc and I'll show you all an example. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, so basically what it usually looks like, you've got your margin, and then you've got your border, and then you've got padding, and then you've got your content. Oh, my fingers are dying slowly. So an example of this would be like if I wanted to target the image tag, I could say, let me set my padding to 10 px. Px means points, so that's like the amount of padding you have. Then we do margin, and I'll do like 20 px, semicolon. Always do semicolon. Maybe I'll do border, and that's going to be my padding, 3px, solid black. That's a border that I want. I'm going to make it look like dark. And then I do border radius. It's actually a tag, right? Radius. And that's the radius of the border. So this is kind of an example of our box model, so how space is calculated. I see some comments. Let me go back. The only thing our web teacher Jumbotron equals big box. That is a great thing that your teacher taught you. That's true. The Jumbotron is a big box. You've got a lot of padding, a lot of margins, borders. I hope they did teach you more. That's a really unfortunate web dev teacher if that's all they taught you. Cutie, colors are not visible on my page, but fonts are visible. That's not good. Hopefully you're using a color that is recognized. The way you can tell that, let me show you really quick. So you'll be safe if you use like hashtag and then 6 numbers. That's going to be your hex code. If you want to use the colors, you have to make sure that it's like a color that's recognized. Like when I type in the letter T, these colors show up. I can't just like make my own color. That won't work. It's got to be something that's recognized here. So I'm going to choose that. So yeah, make sure that that's what you're doing. Oh my god, it's not showing anything. Sorry. So what I was trying to say was like when you're on this color section, background color, anything, if you type in like the letter T, you've got these colors auto-populating. So you have to pick one of these colors. You can't pick like some random color and then save it. It won't show up as a color. So make sure that you've got this like box here, or just enter a hex code with a hashtag in front of it. Let me know if that fixed it. Hopefully it did, but if it didn't, I can help. Let me go back to the document. There's got to be a better way than switching back and forth. There's got to be a more time-effective way. But yeah, so that's an example. And I want to show y'all something super cool, like this kind of box mindset, like status thing, whatever. I'm gonna make like a really fancy card. And I want y'all to see if you can do it before me. So you have the knowledge to do this. So see if you can do it before me. But I'm basically going to make a box and I'm going to make it look like a card, like a birthday card that you would give somebody. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to add a border. I'm going to make this super duper fancy. I'm going to put my H2 class. So here I've got H2, and I'm going to put this in my body. So I'm going to put H2 class, and I'm going to call it fancy card. Oh, can y'all even? You can, perfect. And I'm going to do my computer science skills, and this will replace the line above. This is just making sure that I'm using that class, which we'll cover a little bit what classes are in just a tab. But here I'm going to put in, so I'm going to do dot fancy. Oh my god, it's already got it for me. Yay! Okay, by the way, if you're seeing my code auto-populate and you're like, mine's not doing that. Mine is doing that because I have GitHub Copilot. It's a really fun extension that gives me inline code suggestions. And if you're interested, you should watch the Making Better Hacks Faster with GitHub Copilot workshop. I'm not sure if it has run. Let me check the schedule. It is definitely running at some it is running today at 10 a.m. CT. Let me send y'all that link. Sorry, this is going to be a gigantic link. I'm not putting it into the shortener, but this is the link for the GitHub Copilot workshop, definitely make sure to stop by. It's in like 7 hours from now, so y'all can take a quick nap and then go. But super cool workshop, and GitHub Copilot is super useful. Auto-populates your code. Yes, atomics. Copilot for the win. I agree. Copilot is amazing. So yeah, we've got our fancy card here. I'm actually really curious to see what that does. I didn't code that, it just made that by itself. So I had like code plan, but Copilot has, oh my god, Copilot has other, I love Copilot. Okay, let me show y'all what it did. And this is so 10 out of 10. There you go. There's my little fancy card. Oh my god, you can't even see it. Okay, there's my fancy card. It's got this like little yellow section, little border, and yeah, just like Atomic was saying, like Jumbotron is a big box. This is a big box too. This is kind of how you can do that fancy separation. So feel free to add that to your page as well. It's very cool. So that's a little bit more about boxes. Now we're going to cover a little bit more about like selectors and how to make those attributes. So basically up until now, we've been styling like all of our elements of a certain type. So we'd be like referring to it with the H1 tag or the P tag. But if you just want to style one paragraph differently from the others, or maybe just make like one specific heading purple and another one pink, that's kind of where classes and IDs come in. So you saw a little bit of this earlier when I was making that like fun little like fancy card, but we're going to go a little bit more into that right now. So a class selector is a reusable style. So basically what that means is a class is a way that you can label an element so that you can reuse that same styling over and over again. So we just saw a way of adding a class in, and that's a class attribute. And in your CSS, you can use a dot to target it. So let's go back and let me show you exactly what that was. So you kind of saw it like subtly, implicitly, but now let me explicitly tell you what that is. So right here, this is how you kind of like, I guess, call a class or make a class. So you've got my H2 class, you've got that equals, and then you set your class name. So that's how you're typically going to refer to your class. That's a class attribute. And then above in your head section, you're going to refer to it using dot notation. So if you do a lot of programming languages, dot notation might be a big thing. And you're going to refer to it using a dot to target that. So you'll call it a name, you'll call it like a class name, and then you'll use that here to target that. So now what that means is any element with the class fancy card will have a yellow background and italic text. So let's say you want to do it only for your headings, but not all of them, just some of them, then you can do this. You can like target it in a specific way, which is super cool, very fun. And you can reuse dot fancy card as many times as you want. So different elements like paragraphs, headings, like divs, like literally anywhere, any tags. And you can kind of think of a class as, I guess, like a personality or an attribute that you can apply to multiple elements. And those are classes. Then you've also got ID selectors, which are more unique styles. So an ID is meant for one specific element. So that's something unique on a page. So an example of that would be like, let me go and just put it in my VS Code this time because it doesn't really matter. But let's say I go here and I'm targeting my H1, my first heading. So you go in here and I do like H1, and this time instead of class, I'm going to do ID. And let's say I'm calling it main title. And it's going to be my H1. So let me go back to my H1. And instead of actually making a new one, I'm just going to put it in here. So here I put H1 ID equals main title, and I've got, my work, I've got my content, and then I've got my closing tag. So now in my CSS, again, I'm going to do a hashtag. So we use the dot notation for the classes, and we're going to use a hashtag for the IDs so that this specific H1 will turn white, and just that one. So let's go see. Actually, I think it's going to show a lot of different whites. Let's change that color. Red. Okay. So let me show you all what that looks like. You've got that change pulled up. Boom. I've got, you can see it. I've got other specific H1 tags on there, but you can see the top one just turned red. So it's just that specific filter. It's just super duper cool. And you can customize it like that. So y'all have one specific element that you want to be a certain color. That's what that ID is for. So this is a super important rule that you will need to know. IDs should really only be used once per page. You can't and shouldn't reuse them like classes. Like I've been saying, like classes are super reusable. You can like reuse them for anything, but you shouldn't do that for IDs. Like a quick tip, you should be using .class like about 90% of the time. Super flexible, super reusable, and you really should be only reserving this ID for one-off elements, maybe like a link, really not for that much other than that. So y'all should go in and customize your sections with a little bit more information. So now that you know how to do that, just go in, you make your own class, and you can style it to match whatever you want. So you can put any specific section. And remember, y'all, I was telling you the last like 15 minutes or so are going to be dedicated just to looking through your demos. So I want to see really cool websites, really cool colors, very cool features. And maybe you can even like demo later, put it to your GitHub, add your own projects, and you can demo on this YouTube video, which is super cool. So definitely keep working on your projects and add those customization features because I love to see it, and whoever's watching the stream after will love to see it as well. So now we're kind of going to go to building some more features out. So we've got our raw HTML page that we had before, and now we're going to add some more features to it. So we're going to customize everything. We're going to choose like a couple of colors, a couple of fonts, and we're going to make it look as best as we can. So as a part of this, I'm going to give y'all like 5 minutes really quick just to work on your projects, like independent work time on a stream. I'm going to play some fun music. I'll put my code up here if y'all need some inspiration on what you want to do. But I'm just going to leave my code up here. I'm still going to be here, no worries. But just take these next 5 minutes and work on your code for a little bit so that we can get those demos up and running. So I don't know what time it is right now for y'all, but it's 3:22 a.m. for me. And so 5 minutes from now will be 3:27 a.m. And that's if you're in Central Time. It might be 4:27 if you're in Eastern. I don't know what time it is, IST. I think it's 2 p.m. Not sure if that's right, but 5 minutes from now. And I'll turn the music off and come back once we get to working for those 5 minutes. So let me know if you have any questions. I'll just be here, just drinking my water. Sorry, I disappeared for a second, y'all. I was trying to get some more water. I was trying to be quiet so I wouldn't wake up my roommate, and turns out all of our water is gone. I have to re-boil another batch in the kettle, so I will do that in the morning. No water for me, but keep working on your project. You've got 2 minutes left. You can keep working on your project throughout the rest of the stream as well. This is just like dedicated work time. Minute left. Okay. Thank y'all for your amazing work. I'm sure you've been working on some really great stuff. So that was our quick little 5-minute session. Let me know if that was useful for you. I'm trying to decide if I want to keep that in our sessions. Not sure, but I feel like it's a good work time. Oh, I think the chat's been silent because people are working on their project. We did a quick little 5-minute work session where we worked on our projects for a little bit. Hopefully you were able to get some nice work done, but no worries if not. Nothing you missed. We were just doing some work time. So yeah, hopefully y'all were able to implement some of those features. Go back to the slides. Let me know if you have any questions and if something's not working. But now we're going to talk about like best practices for CSS. Just as like a heads up to frame y'all, like we are heading towards the end of our stream. Like I said, I want to save the last 15 minutes to demo your projects. So I'm going to try to get through these next like 10-15 minutes quickest as possible so that we can spend some more time for your projects. So by now you've seen like how powerful and cool CSS is. No, oh my gosh, your stream just broke with buffering. I am really hoping that's not on me. I think it says I have good Wi-Fi bars. Let me know if something's not working and you can't hear or see me properly. We will fix that. But if it's your connection, I hope it gets fixed soon. Wi-Fi connection issues really suck. I feel like I get those all the time. But oh, hello, Jerry John. Happy to be here. Thank you. I'm happy to be here too. Glad to hear that you are as well. So CSS styles are super cool, but as your CSS stylings grow, I think things can get messy really fast, really messy and disorganized and confused. And this is going to be especially true when you're styling like whole entire pages with like multiple sections, buttons, images, like all of that. It's just going to be super confusing. So we can keep our CSS clean, readable, and scalable, just like a really well organized like room, computer, file system. Yay! Glad to hear that it's working now. Very happy. But also, no worries for any of y'all. If your stream's buffering, your Wi-Fi is turning off, something's not working, my connection is good. So this YouTube video will be fully recorded and put on YouTube. So there's a section where you're like, oh, dang, it's just not working. Like, you can always go back and watch it later. It's also live on YouTube, so you can probably just go back. But yeah. So a couple of rules that I think are really important for CSS. So basically what we've been doing up till now is we've been putting our CSS styles inside a style tag. So, just what y'all see here. But actually something you can do is you can create a separate .css file So I'm not going to do that just because for the sake of time, but people will sometimes do like colors.css or like styles.css. And then you can just put all of your CSS code in that file. And I think that's great for organization because then that way you can have all of your HTML code and your content. You can have that all within this HTML file, because you can see this file's already getting kind of long, and you can put this specific CSS formatting in a separate CSS file. So feel free to do that if that helps you with your organization. I'm going to keep it as is. I think I might separate it into a CSS file after this stream so that part 3 will be a little bit more organized, but feel free to do that. Yeah. You can also group your styles by page sections. So I've just kind of got it like all here, but you can also group them like in logical order. So if you've got like maybe fancy card and main title go together, you can do like a quick little section. So how you do that is you do the slash, you do a, what is it? An asterisk, and you can do like about section or something. And so the slash and the asterisk combo is how you signify to your code that this is a comment. If you're unaware, no worries, but a comment is basically just like informing your computer that you're not writing code, but you are writing like text. This is mainly just for humans, so we can see comments and we can understand something, and just for our organization. So feel free to write comments if you would like for extra organization. That is not my about section, so I will be deleting. Actually, I'll keep that up for y'all. Sample content. And it also makes it easier to find things. Let's say you've got a super big file and you just can't find something you want to find, you can control F it and then you can find that section super quick. Sorry, control F like control find. It might be command F on your computer if it's a Mac, but that's how you find things on your computer. And you should use comments pretty generally. This is like a general coding structure, but it's really useful to use comments. It's a great way that people can get their code easy to understand from other people. So great use of your time. And comments are kind of like notes to your future self. Like this is what this means. So if y'all already have it, add those comments. Maybe rearrange your styles, make your code a little bit more organized. Like we're not going to see your code, but it's just easy because eventually you will start uploading your code. And people will be able to see it. So you want to make sure that it's organized and presenting the best version of yourself. So we're gonna like kind of dip our toes a little bit into CSS layouts. Again, this is an intro session, so I'm trying to not cover anything too complex. Definitely thinking about maybe doing another session at another Global Hack Week for some more advanced features. But just for now, we're going into very basic features. And it's like a really important topic. It's called Flexbox. And it basically just controls how elements are laid out. So right now, like we've got our display set up in a block. So every element stacks on top of the next. So if you've seen that in your HTML file, you'll see like your title, your content, your image, your link, and they're all just on top of each other. But if you just do display flex, it'll turn your container into a flexible layout box. What does that mean? So instead of stacking your content, your content's going to be like side by side, aligned with each other, or even spaced out, like very, very fun. So we can try something, and we can focus on adding in some structure to our code, but that might be also a later deep dive. But let's say that we're using an image, and maybe I can actually just show y'all because we've got some extra time. Let me get the VS Code. There you go. So this would be like a little layout box that we can make for ourselves and it'd be really nice. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go in and let's make a container. So we're gonna call this class, it hasn't been created yet, but I'll make it after this. I'm gonna call it container. Oh my god, I love GitHub Copilot autopiloting for me. But I don't want any of that. Thank you, Copilot, but that is not what I want. I'm gonna write my own code this time. Okay, so I'm gonna do display flex. So this is what I was talking about. Typically it's just display block, but flex, that means it can align and make itself super cool. If you justify content, center, I want it in the center, and I'm gonna do a line item center so that all my items are aligned in the center as well. And now I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna call that class. So I'll do, so I've already got an image here, my image src, and I'm gonna do div class equals container. So, oh, it's already got that for me. Yeah, nice. And I'm gonna close it with my div. So that's the closing tag. If y'all weren't here for part 1, closing tags are really important. They're the end of your div tags. Very, very important. Make sure you have those. So now it'll have some fun features. So let's go. I have to do another photo for that. So let me actually add in another photo. I'm just going to do the exact same one. Basically, if you don't know what this is, by the way, Pixum is like lorem ipsum. If you know Latin or you've heard that saying, it's basically just like something random. It's like they just put random things in there. So it's a random picture. It regenerates every time you open up the website, which I think is really, really cool. But yeah, sometimes it might not be what you want, but it will be there. So let's go see what that looks like on the website. But yeah, this is a really cool way that you can structure your layout. I want to see some fun editing from y'all. But yeah, this is how it looks. So before you just kind of had your image like in this corner, it's kind of bad, but now it's like, you know, they're horizontal, they're centered, they're aligned in the middle, and you don't need to do any like weird hacks like how you would need to do before. Like you don't need to like click on something random and like put in a random like font, padding, whatever. This is enough. So that's a really cool thing that I like to think about. But there's also a lot of different like responsive design elements. So your site should be looking good in a lot of different aspects. So like on a monitor, a laptop, a tablet, a mobile phone, anything like that. So basically what we want to do for that is to make sure that it can show up on multiple devices, is to account for flexible responsive designs. So what that means is like instead of specifying a width, like we didn't really specify a width anywhere here, but you would do like with 80% or something like that. So we don't really have an image because I didn't create one, but here we can also do like a tag. So let me do, sorry, we always refer to our image like that. And I'm gonna put in some information about that. So I'm gonna do like max width, and I'm gonna do 100%, and I'll do height auto. So this will ensure, oh my god, that's not good. Hello, why is it not having fun? Okay, there you go. Basically what this does is it ensures that your images can shrink as needed. They're never going to break the layout on small screens. That's what that 100% width does. So it won't go like over the page or like too small on the page. It's going to be just right on the page. So that's great. And you can also like apply different styles depending on screen size. So the way you do that is using like @media. So here I'll do like @media. And okay, it's already got that. I love Copilot. I've said that like 6 times, but I just really love Copilot. Yeah, you can apply different styles depending on screen size. So for this one, This just means like when the screen is less than 600 pixels wide, you're going to set these specific settings. So you won't really be able to see it right now because you're doing it on your computer. But once you deploy it, you'll be able to see it on a lot of different sites. So definitely make sure you add that. I'm going to take that out just 'cause actually, yeah, I don't think I care. Yeah, that's good. And we can just make it a little bit easier. If you want to make it more functional, like Copilot just suggested something random, but if you want to make it like actually functional for a device that's 600 pixels, like you can specify like you want the heading to be like a little bit smaller. So right now it's like gigantic, even if you're on like a tiny little iPhone or like an Android. So we can specify like we want the font size to be that if we've got a smaller phone. So that's another thing you can do. Again, that change isn't really going to show up here, but it will eventually. So that's all that matters. And we're almost done. We're getting to the demo section in just a little bit, but I wanted to go over some common layout patterns that we have. So you'll see a lot of different layout patterns on like very modern websites. I forgot there's no water. Damn. So one of these big patterns is like the hero pattern, the hero section. So it's like a big bold intro at the top. Usually has like a background image, a heading, maybe a button. So that would be like if we imagine. So this would be the hero section. This little yellow part, if this was at the top and it said like, welcome to my website, that would be the hero section. And then we've got our navigation bar. I don't have it here, but feel free to add it. It's just a row of links, usually at the top. I'm sure y'all have seen it. You got like your horizontal list, like home, about, contact, more about me, things like that. And this is often styled with display flex or position fixed. The reason why is because you either want it to be flexible based on what device you're on, or you want it to be fixed if it's like really hard to navigate around your website. And finally, like another layout that I think is interesting is like two-column layout, and that's like text on the left, image on the right, or vice versa. We usually make those designs and layouts with Flexbox or Grid. It's good to know these layouts so that when you're on a website next time, you can like be like, oh, I remember that. That was like the hero section or something, and you can identify things, which is super fun. And if you think something looks really polished on a website, it's usually because they're using a layout. So we are hitting our kind of our end. And I want to get to demoing because I told you I'd get there by 3:45 and I got you there by 3:43. So there you go. Okay, well, unless you're in CT, that time makes no sense to you, but I told you I'd get there with 15 minutes before. So now I'm going to show you what we can do. So previously, like I was saying, the live server extension only works locally on your computer. It opens up like a local host and shows something locally. So like if you go, oh, oops, I just deleted it. Damn. Okay. So I don't know if you can see this, but my URL is like my local host link right now attached to my file name. So that is not something I can copy and paste. If I copy and paste that into the chat, y'all are not going to be able to use it. Need help with the font? I got the code from Google Fonts. Doesn't really change. Am I supposed to put it anywhere else? Yeah, I got you. Don't even worry. Let me show you what I did. So I put it up here, so it should be like 3 back-to-back links that you get, and I put it all within my head section. So specifically, make sure you're doing that. Like, make sure it's in the right spot because that's usually the biggest problem. It's going to be in the HTML after head, after title, but before style. So make sure before you start your style tag, you've got your link here. And make sure you're copying the font name exactly, like with capitalization, spacings, all of that. And you can put it within whatever tag. I put it within body. It's under style. And it's going to be font family, colon, the name of the font within single quotes, and then make sure you're also including your fallback quote or fallback font. That's just going to be comma, and you have your sans serif as your fallback, just so you have some font. Hopefully that helped. Let me know if it's still not working. So I'm going to show y'all how to deploy to GitHub code or GitHub Pages. So I'm a really big fan of GitHub Pages. What it is basically, like I was saying, it can be really hard okay, I don't know what I was saying, sorry. The live server that I was talking about before, it doesn't convert to a link that you can share with other people. Which is why when you have code, like sometimes you have to buy a domain, whatever, but that's why we have GitHub. I love GitHub. GitHub has this thing called GitHub Pages, and it's really useful because you can upload your code to a repository or a repo, and you can get your code online and viewable. So if you don't have a GitHub account, make an account, and I'd love to see that. Had not put the font in the body works now. Yeah, of course. Glad it works now. Very glad to see that, and I better see your demo. I'm waiting. So if you were here for part 1, you already saw this, but no worries. We're going to go over it again. Yeah, so if you were here for part 1, you've already deployed your website. So I would just go back and edit it. So I'll show y'all. So this is only for the people that were here for part 1 yesterday. So I've already got my HTML website up. So what I'm going to do is, this is bad practice. I just don't really care for the sake of time. So I'm deleting my index.html file, and I'm just going to re-upload the file that I've edited. Why is it not deleting? Hello? Oh, sorry. I forgot to commit changes. That's on me. And now I go back, and it's gone. So I'm going to upload that file. And so this is just for part 1 people, or if you've already had a repo for this. I'm going to click add file, upload files. I am not going to dox myself, so just 1 second while I upload my file, and so that I don't show y'all all of my personal information in my downloads folder like I did last time. And we're back. Index.html, that's my file name, and you're going to commit directly to the main branch. And you're just going to commit. Boom. There it is. So, oh, hello, Kunal. Hello. So that's what you're going to do. So for those of y'all that are here new, let me show you how we're going to do that. So we're going to go in. I'm going to go back to our repositories. So I'm going to hit new repository, type in your name for the repository, make it public so that you can copy that link, and then click create repository. You can add a README. It's always good practice. One thing, always remember, make it public, otherwise I can't see it if it's going to be private. And then click create repository. I'm not going to do that because I've already got it. But once you create your repository, you'll be here. You might have your README file if you opted into that. If you didn't, no worries. It doesn't really matter for now. And then you're going to add file, upload file, just like what I was showing before. So hopefully you'll have your files uploaded into there. So if you mean animated in terms of responsive and moving, definitely tune into part 3 and part 4. I'm going to be working on JavaScript, and we're going to be able to add some responsive features to that. But animated websites in general, you might want to find some more resources online. Like React.js is very, very useful for animating things and making things responsive. Hopefully that helped. So now we're going to go and figure out GitHub Pages. So I'm going to click on settings, I'm going to go to pages, and it's already deployed for me, but you're going to go to this branch section, and you're going to click main, you select main, root, save, and then you're going to wait for your website to be deployed. So it says it was last deployed 1 minute ago. So websites get immediate changes. So as soon as you make a change to your GitHub, it'll redeploy your website. So look, we can see. I click on that link, and boom, there's my super ugly website that I have created. And so now this is a link that I can send y'all and you can all see. So I should just send that over. And I know my website's ugly. I just wanted to show y'all like all the features you could have, but depending on when I wake up after I sleep after this, I might fix this up because this looks really ugly, but I don't know if I'm going to be awake for that. So send in. So this is kind of just how you deploy to GitHub. Please send in your URLs once you've got them deployed and up and running. If you can't get it deployed, just send me a link to your GitHub repo and I'll deploy it for you. I did that for somebody yesterday. Sometimes my computer is just a little bit faster. Send me your links, and super cool incentive to send me your link is that I get to pull up your webpage and like basically just brag about you on the stream for a really long time until somebody sends me another link. And this is going to be on YouTube forever. So, somebody sent one. Thank you, Orino Ferris. Okay, I'm typing in your link. Y'all are about to see a super cool website. I can just see this is going to be great. This is definitely going to be better than mine. I'm so excited. Okay. Oh my gosh. Wow. Oh, this is amazing. Hi, I'm a shark. Welcome to my page. I built this myself. Ooh, okay. I'm a software engineer with a passion for building data science applications. Very cool. Oh my god, this is insane. I remember reading this yesterday at Aditya, right? I think. HTML, yeah. Very cool, very cool. I like this text. I'm not really sure, or sorry, not text. I like this font. This font is 10 out of 10. Very robotic. I like it. And I like the color contrast. This is very nice, like a neon pink and a neon green, a neon blue. I feel like I've seen this color palette somewhere. Let's go visit Aditya's GitHub. If you're from part 1, we've seen Aditya's GitHub already, but part 2. Yay, super cool. There you go. There's your part 2 GitHub review. Thank you for sharing your link again. If y'all want to be cool like Aditya, you should share your links. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep talking, but we could have a really cool demo instead. Don't be afraid. There is no barrier to entry. We're all community members. You saw how ugly my website was, and I still showed y'all. So it can't be worse than mine. And even if it is my website, at least you created something. Like, y'all should be really proud of yourselves. You made like a brand new HTML website from scratch. Now you know a lot about HTML. You can take this knowledge home and build some more things with that. But if no one else is going to send a demo link, I'm just going to keep talking about HTML and what's next for the next couple of sections. So I've got my what's next slide up here. So next, we're going to be learning about JavaScript. So like I said, this is a 4-part series. Part 1 was HTML. Part 2 is CSS. Still kind of part of HTML, but more CSS centered. And part 3 is going to be about JavaScript. So we're going to learn how to add things like click actions, change content with buttons, and build forms, and be able to make a lot of different interactive things. So this is going to be when your site is going to be able to start doing things. So right now, our sites are just kind of static, and they don't really do much. But after we go through JavaScript, we'll be able to add some more functionality and make it more interactive and more fun to handle. So this is just like a quick recap of what we did, because I don't know if I'm getting any more demo links, but I'd love to see y'all's projects. And if you want to just send it to me, but you don't want me to demo it, just tell me that. I'd love to see them anyways. I love seeing y'all's work. But just to recap what we've learned so far, we've learned what CSS is, how to write it, how to style elements and text and layout, and how to style reusable classes with layouts, what the difference between like classes and IDs were. Learned a lot in this session, so y'all are styling like pros. I love that website I saw from Aditya. It's great. That is exactly what I want to see. So we've got about 5 minutes left in this stream. I've covered all my content, and I would love to see some more demos, some more links if anybody wants to send them to me. But if not, I'll hang around for the next 5 minutes. I'm here for any questions that y'all want to ask me about Major League Hacking, about Global Hack Week, about this stream, anything. I'll be here for the next 5 minutes. And if you have something that I didn't get to answer on this stream, but you're worried, confused, concerned, not concerned, just questioning about it, let me know. I'm going to get the feedback link. So something super important for MLH is that y'all fill out a feedback link. And the feedback link is really, really important. Let me get that link. It's very important that we know what y'all think about our streams and what you think we can improve on. So let me go and get that link. If y'all could fill this out, that'd be great. You can talk about this stream specifically, and you could talk about honestly anything that you want to. So there's that feedback link. Yeah. Yeah, of course. Do anything for y'all. I really love streaming, and I feel like a lot of times I stream in times normal for me. I'll have people from IST be like, it's 2 a.m. I woke up just for this stream, or like, I'm a stream warrior. I've been on streams. Like, I've been on streams since midnight to 3 a.m. And I'm like, damn, that's just so unfair. Because I feel like a lot of our people that are watching these streams are from India and IST time, and it's so unfortunate. So I'll stay up this one time, but I don't think I'm doing this again. I'm really tired. I don't know if you can tell by the repeated yawns, but like my eyes are like dying slowly. But I really enjoyed this stream. I loved your engagement. I loved everybody's engagement, everybody's interest in the stream. It was great. It was amazing. I'm actually probably going to hop off a little bit earlier so that UT can start their stream. Just in case you didn't see it, UT is going to be doing the Charting with DJ.js and React Part 1 workshop. DJ streams are legendary. I've put that in the chat. So definitely make sure that y'all check out that stream. It's like literally right now. So I think DJ is also not DJ. Sorry. Oh my god, UT. I think UT is also a streamer from the US. So I think UT is also waking up really early for this, or staying up. But that is true. I really hope you are not staying up until 3 a.m. Please get some sleep. Yeah. I had the same issue yesterday with your first presentation. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Like, but honestly, that first presentation was nice because it was a reasonable time, but this is not a reasonable time. But that's why we record the videos and leave them online for y'all. So I'm gonna hop off in a minute. Thank you all so much, genuinely, for showing up to the stream. I really appreciate it. Fill out that feedback link. But I'm gonna hop off so UT can start their stream. But thank y'all so much. Go get some sleep, get some food. But thank you for showing up to my stream. And I'll see you for part 3 in a couple of hours. It's just gonna be a couple of hours from now, specifically like, I don't know how many hours from now. 1 p.m. CT. Oh my god, that's like 9 hours from now. Yeah, 9 hours from now, I will see you for part 3. Definitely make sure you come in. So yes. Bye. Thank you. Thank you. Have a good weekend. I'm going to log off. Bye, y'all. Thank you for showing up.